Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're decoding a piece of audio that, honestly, it isn't just a track. It's a full-blown artistic manifesto. We're unpacking the lyrics and the core message behind Pantomime by an artist who is literally tearing down his old image to build something entirely new from the ground up. If you've ever felt constrained by expectations, by what people think you should be doing, this explainer is going to hit right at home for sure. We're getting into the raw, unedited thoughts of a creator declaring absolute independence.
And it all starts right here with this core central conflict, trying to put me in a box. It is a visceral, immediate rejection of being labeled or restricted by the industry, or, frankly, by anyone at all. Right from the very first breath of the track, the artist is calling out the standard operating procedure of the music world, right? Which is to categorize you, tag you, and keep you neatly packaged so you're easy to consume. But that kind of containment? No way. It's exactly what he's rebelling against. So that brings us to the million-dollar question. How does an artist actually break free from those tight constraints to forge a completely new identity? True artistic reinvention is incredibly hard. I mean, you've got critics, you've got fans, and entire systems that are constantly trying to, as the lyric specifically put it, trip you up. When you change the formula, people get uncomfortable. So the artist has to be incredibly deliberate, and even a bit aggressive, in how they dismantle that old self to make room for the new one. Understanding exactly how they do this? It's basically a masterclass for anyone trying to pivot in their own career or just life in general.
Now, what's really interesting about this contrast is the clear line drawn in the sand between the past and the present. On one hand, we have the old identity, Mr. M or Mr. Mind. This represents a very cerebral, maybe overly intellectualized persona that the industry completely approved of. But on the other side, we have the new liberated identity, Mr. Universal Rhythm. He's no longer just a thinker. He's a storyteller. He makes the beats. He has officially shifted from this restricted, boxed-in mental space into a boundless, dynamic, and fully creative force. But listen, he doesn't just passively change his name. He actually gives us a precise blueprint for reinvention. First, he makes a general statement. Then, he sets the record straight. Third, he absolutely squashes the old narrative. And finally, he has to recreate. He talks about critics handing him the ammo, and his response is just so sharp and percussive. He says, click, clack, cut it. He's actively, forcefully cutting the ties to his past. He's taking full control of the narrative by ending the old one with absolute finality. And this reinvention wasn't just some overnight whim. The artist anchors his entire timeline to a specific year, 2021. Since 2021, he explicitly tells us he has been on his hustle. This year marks the official starting line of a non-stop, prolific work ethic. It's the exact moment the old persona died and Mr. Universal Rhythm took the wheel, operating with an absolute, undeniable urgency. So what does that hustle actually sound like? Drop, after, drop. He repeats this phrase constantly in the track, creating this staccato rhythm that mimics the sheer volume of his continuous output. It is relentless. Drop, after, drop. It's fast, it's punchy, and it perfectly captures the repetitive intensity of his work ethic. He is just flooding the zone. He isn't waiting for permission, and he sure isn't waiting for the perfect marketing cycle. Let's see how this builds. Drop after drop. It's this aggressive release strategy that utterly refuses to let the audience breathe. He is overwhelming that old narrative by simply burying it in a massive mountain of new, undeniable creation. So the crucial point is, it all culminates in this massive declaration. Drop the hottest mix, I ain't cooling off. He is summarizing his absolute refusal to lose momentum or to settle down into complacency. He's hot, the creative fire's burning, and he is not letting anyone throw water on it. The repetition of those drops wasn't just about quantity, right? It was a real testament to his unstoppable creative temperature. But hey, volume isn't everything. He clearly contrasts the why behind his music with the industry's expectations. The industry, they appreciate the superficial engagement, the clever, highly marketable Mr. Mind persona. But he counters that instantly with, I like connection. He wants deep emotional resonance. He openly rejects what he calls fake standards, basically telling listeners to stop killing themselves trying to fit into these artificial industry boxes. He wants something real. And honestly, that's a huge lesson for anyone feeling pressured to perform a certain way just to fit in. And that brings us to one of the most profound lyrics in the entire track. The message is louder through the expression. I want you to think about that for a second. Pure, uninhibited emotion, conveyed through the raw sound and rhythm of the track, carries vastly more meaning than rigid, boxed-in music ever could. He's telling us that the way he delivers the art, the raw expression of it, is actually the core message itself. Because of this, he gives the audience very explicit instructions on how to actually consume his art. He says, if the music resonates with you, you need to do 3 things. 1, step into this frequently captivating world. 2, really lean in. And 3, feel exactly what the message means. He isn't asking for passive listeners, which means he's challenging us. He is demanding active participants who are willing to fully absorb the weight of his storytelling and the sheer emotion behind the rhythm. And this brilliantly illustrates the concept of the track itself, pantomime. Now, traditionally, pantomime means expressing meaning through gestures, often in total silence, right? But Mr. Universal Rhythm redefines it entirely, and honestly, it's brilliant. For him, pantomime means breaking every stereotype. As he says in the lyrics, this ain't just music, this is pantomime. It is a bold, rule-bending, absolutely undeniable form of personal expression. He's literally taken the concept of silent acting and turned it into the loudest, most defiant artistic statement possible. But here is the ultimate paradox of the entire manifesto. He states, I bend the rules. I don't entertain universal rhythm. Wait a minute. His name is Mr. Universal Rhythm. The irony here is just incredible. Even within his own chosen namesake, his own carefully crafted new identity, he absolutely refuses to be predictable. He won't even conform to the standard expectations of the very name he just gave himself. He bends his own rules. That is the absolute peak of artistic freedom. Which leaves us with this final, aggressive, climactic note. The time is mine. He has declared his independence, redefined his identity, and taken absolute ownership of his creative output. So I want to leave you with this to think about. When the world, whether that's your industry, your peers, or just society at large, when they try to put you in a box, how can you take complete ownership of your own time and your own expression? How can you break the mold and make the time yours? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this breakdown sparked some serious inspiration for you. Keep learning, keep leaning in, and I'll catch you next time.